Okay, so we already did our check-in, and just a reminder, we want to use oil with the Himalayan Salt Stone, and our client chose coconut oil. So I'm going to apply some coconut oil to the area first. And I've had the stones warming already, so they should be good. It's hotter near the center and cooler near the edges. So as you can kind of test the stones. Sometimes the darker ones are hotter. I had a lot of oil on my hands, so I just took oil from my hands onto the stone. If I didn't have a lot of oil on my hands, I would just add a little bit more. You can see it looks really nice. It's a gorgeous stone. Check this baby out. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's like got this beautiful embedded. That would be some of the minerals. I believe it's the iron. That's that darker color. So pretty. So I like to use the flat part first. Now if this was super hot, I could introduce the heat like Lucy was doing and Jill was doing. You take from the stone, you add to the client. But honestly, I find that the stones are usually not that hot, and they're kind of more consistent than the hot stones, where they don't get like crazy hot. So honestly, you could go straight to the client, but it can be nice to introduce some heat from your hands first. I like to use them flat first, just like we were doing with the hot stones. And the other day with the salt stones, our hands nice and soft around the stone, using our fingers on the body. Nice soft body mechanics. Notice how I'm supporting her hand and wrist without grabbing them. I often find that the position of the hand and arm is easier if you are free to move it about, rather than feeling like it has to be stuck on the table. Some massage therapists will literally support the arm and hand on their leg or knee or body, but I usually just hold it if I'm moving it around. And notice we already set up the range of motion draping, so this is tucked all the way up and around, which just gives her extra security. Just like the hot stones, we can flip them. The other side's going to feel a little different. And it's already cooled down. I can swap out. I'm feeling tight spots already. This is a real tight spot here. So I make mental notes right away, like that's somewhere where we're going to return. Interestingly enough, that area that was very tight kind of got pink faster. Because the center is hotter than the outside, I'll often try to put the bigger part of the stone in the center. And now I don't have enough oil for this stone, so I put on just a little. It's coconut, that's why it's solid. If I have too much, a lot of massage therapists put extra up on their arm for later. And then, if you need it, I could use 2 stones at a time, but a lot of times with the arms, not as much space. So I'm going to start with 1. I like to grab the stones in the bowl, mostly in a clockwise circular pattern, just to keep track of, when I took them and keep going in order. Takes them about 5 minutes to warm up again, and then I come back to them, right? So, but sometimes you need a particular shape, so you can definitely skip around. But in general, I try to go in a clockwise pattern when I take the stones. Get some nice pinkness there. How's the warmth for you so far? Beautiful. Get some nice pulling. So as we get deeper with the pulling techniques, I really like to use this edge of the stone and get my fingers around it and use it for a scooping, carving motion. So As we get a little deeper, we get all the way to the posterior deltoids here. And I can take that edge of the stone. You can work pretty slowly with these, give them time to melt the tissue. And it's okay to move the client's hand and arm around. I want to give her enough support that she feels like she can let go. And sometimes, depending on what technique you're doing, that you might kind of need to move around for that. Some people actually find it very comforting if you like literally hold their hand. So, you kind of can gauge that sort of if that feels like it relaxes them or feels too intimate. And if it, might feel too intimate, you can support them more like this. But a therapeutic hug on the hand can be nice. This is kind of unusual body mechanics that I've developed after 30 years of massage. There's certain areas of the body that I actually enjoy kind of facing away from the table. And you can kind of relax as long as you're not touching the client. So I'm chilling out. You want to do your work as relaxed as possible. And scooping, scooping, scooping. How are we doing on that pressure scale? Beautiful. Awesome. Now, of course, muscles always cross joints, and so, we want to take this just like we would with our Swedish massage and other techniques. We want to take this across joints, and we're just aware of bony landmarks, but we really cross the joints, follow origins to insertions. And I'm going to get a new stone, and there's some tightness here as well. We're going to kind of work that out next. And again, just a little bit of oil. Any oils work, really. Client just wanted coconut oil today. I like jojoba and blends as well. And you can take the longer strokes gently all the way out to the hands. Now, of course, the inside of the arm, just to review, the most vulnerable area that's a contraindication is right behind, right behind the biceps. So where that line of the biceps is, we can apply pressure, but we want to be very light behind it. And again, just shifting my hand to support her hand and wrist. I don't want her to feel like she has to hold her arm up. And you can take this all the way up into the deltoid and even the pecs. Aware, of course, of the bony landmarks. We don't want to be bumpy right there, but we do want to get the muscles right around it, So we got these beautiful shapes, these curves. We can swoop around to get those attachments. And just like the hot stones, I like to rest it in the base of my hand, so I'm not gripping the stone. So I'm having a very relaxed approach there. Is that too intense for you? Okay. And we want to get that deltoid. And remember, the deltoid attaches all the way up here to the clavicle. So don't be afraid of that. You can really explore with the different shape and edges of your stones to really, I'm pulling that fascia just a little bit, getting those attachments. And then, of course, the deltoid comes from around spine of the scapula. Again, I'm pulling with this edge, scooping, you can really use those edges. So I'm going to get deeper with the tissues with those edges, leaning back. Don't be afraid to go slowly. Most clients' muscles can't relax quickly. So if you speed through everything, you're often only able to warm things up superficially, which is fine for warm-up. But if you really want to facilitate releases, slow is the name of the game. It gives the person time, their nervous system, to process and relax. They gotta breathe into it, right? They gotta feel what you're doing. And it's sort of like their body is making choices. Their body is making somatic choices about what to do. And if you go racing through things, they don't have time. So we're gonna give Anna time here. If she wants to let go of things, she can. I watched these videos of the salt mines where this came from this morning in the beautiful mountains. And I just had a vision of that right now as I was being slow with the stones. You guys have any questions? How's it feeling for you, Anna? Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to get a new stone. And I don't think I want a round one, so I'm going to skip ahead to the next teardrop-shaped one. Because in the forearms, you know, of course, there's all these great muscles, and a lot of them attach on the lateral epicondyle, and a lot of them attach on the medial epicondyle. And so I want to be able to get right up to those attachments. I find even if you're going to do specific work, like if we're going to address adhesions or trigger points in this area, and you have a nice pointed stone, I still find that it's nice to start with the flat part of the stone and to really allow their muscles to melt and warm up and experience the heat. So for example, she's got a very tight muscle right here, but I don't want to dig right in there with that part of the stone. I'm going to first really let Anna savor the beautiful hot stone and the salt, and let the salt, the minerals, do their work, the heat. And you can see how pink she's getting there. And I can feel that tight area already softening. And as I work through the layers now, I'm going to push into different parts of my hand. So there's a tight spot right here. I'm going to lean in this way like I was steering, you know, a paddleboard or a kayak or something, a bicycle or many things with wheels. You know, we're going to lean in. So I'm leaning in this way. I'm exaggerating with my body. The leaning is mostly from my hand here.
And you're doing that with the pointed side?
I am, yep. I really like to use the edges and the points a lot. You can even get a lot accomplished by these edges. I love them. It's a very fun tool. And how's the intensity on the 1 to 10 scale? 7's perfect, 10's too deep, 1's too light. Beautiful. And I'm slowing down. There's another spot right here. I'm going to have the point right on that spot now. But you see I'm not like into the point that way, which you can do sometimes. But I feel like with this little muscle here, right, our arm muscles are not that, forearm muscles are not that big. So I'm kind of leaning into it on an angle. And that kind of caught her breathing for a minute. So I slow down, I back up, I ease up. It's a conversation. Be like, hey, sorry about that. We'll just hang out. you follow in a lot of nonverbal cues, right? No offense for this next analogy, but it's kind of like, if you were talking to a horse or a dog or something that couldn't use words, you're paying attention to all these signals, right? And if they feel a little skitterish, right, you slow down, you back up, you're just like, okay, right, we're having this dance. And so when I hit that spot, Anna's body wasn't sure about it at first. So then it's my job to listen to that and not just push into it further. And sometimes that's slowing down, sometimes that's easing up, sometimes that's going to another area, sometimes that's just hanging out, listening. Now what I'm going to do is push the stone this way. And this coconut oil is quite slippery. So it's a lot slippery than the jojoba. You'll notice that right away if you use it. So be careful not to slip and slide onto their bony landmarks, onto their face. So, you could take some oil off if you need to. Sometimes if you have a less oily forearm, you can take some off with the forearm. If you had to, you could really even use like a Kleenex if you need to be a little less slippery. And then if I'm on the slippery side and I use another stone, then I just don't add oil to the next stone. So I'm taking this down, and we'll take it into the hand. Oh, Anna's ready for that stone. Just gonna let her have that stone. That one's yours now, Anna. Okay, we were a little slippery there, so I'm gonna not add oil to this one. And I'm gonna get a little more precise now. So, but even with my precision work, I'm going to start with the flat part. This hand is starting to get precise already. So I'm going to lift those muscles, feel what's going on. Of course, massage therapists, right? Obviously, we got a lot going on here. So you're all going to really need and enjoy some forearm work. And then this one, we don't want to bump this olecranon, right? But it is good to get to the attachment behind it. So I can get back there without bumping into the olecranon.
So do you just hold it there with the pressure?
I was just holding it. And next week we're going to start myofascial release, and then we'll add kind of a little MFR to that as well. MFR for myofascial release. Okay, let's talk to these forearm muscles a little more. If you want more heat, just like the hot stones, you can get a little more on an angle rather than a 90 degrees. And if you're ever not sure, use your precision tools to feel what's going on and then add the stone. The two can work together. So I'm pushing the tissue up and they're working together. So we're going to work through those layers. There we go. And then this, I don't know if you got to play with this the other day, but this is a beautiful shape for kind of rolling techniques. And think about opening up and stretching those muscles as you roll through them rather than just rolling over them. So we want to get into a muscle and stretch it as we roll. So we're really pulling it and sinking in as we go. It's not a superficial roll. And I'm working, you can see, kind of like if you were mowing the lawn, you don't want to have spaces between, you're kind of overlapping as you go. And then I'm going to repeat also where there's more tension. And so then whoever works with her next, of course, will want to focus more on the other side, because I'm just going to show one-sided things today, since I'm going to show you multiple things. we want to make sure we get the flexors as well. And this is an area where some people might really support the client's arm on themselves. But I always err on the cautious side. So, you know, I keep it to hand and forearm contact. And then obviously we're being careful as we get to the forearm crease or elbow, the cubital, antecubital. But there's tight muscles near it. So if you're slow and not slippery, you can work, you know, right up to the tight muscles here, but you don't want to accidentally slide into the nerve area right in the middle of the antecubital fossa. And experiment with different arm positions. You want an arm position where the client's really going to relax. And now that I've got her warmed up more, again, I'm going to use this edge and this part of my hand to really do some scooping into the muscles. And think about it like if you were working at an ice cream place and you had a giant tub of ice cream and you were really trying to dig in there, right? And we're not wanting to, you know, just stay on the surface with this. We want to get through those layers. And there's some tightness here. I think we need a little bit more heat. I'm going to get a fresh stone for the tightness here. And I'm going to leave her the fresher one because she seemed to enjoy the heat. You guys are quiet today, no questions?
Are you gonna show us the hand? I seen Lucy doing it.
Oh, I'll do a little hand stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. We're getting there.
Yay.
Yes. Yes. That's really nice. I just want to work out this a little bit. When I roll over it, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't. I bet you a lot of that can resolve. So again, we're going to start flat.
Is that the tight spot that you said?
Yeah, that part that jumped.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Notice it's kind of like a therapeutic hug, the way I'm holding her, like I might hold a newborn. I mean, I'll hold the newborn higher up, but the general idea. There we go. It's warmed up enough. I'm going to roll through it now. And little leading edge. The heat here is your friend. As you will study in myofascial release starting next week, all the fascia releases a lot better when the ground substance warms up. So this is really a critical part of the job here, is getting this warmed up. So we're letting the stone do a lot of our work for us, and then we can actually use the stone, nice and pink. Already that is a lot less jumpy muscle, and now I can be more precise with it. I could even pin and stretch. Oh yeah, that's right in your brachioradialis, my friend. It's on the flexor border and the brachioradialis border. So I'm going to get both. It's connected to both. So brachioradialis is the one that separates the flexors from the extensors. So it's on this one and the flexors. Just like how like the deltoids and the pecs can kind of get stuck together. How are you doing? Good. All right, and then a little bit more. I'm going to roll through. There we go. There we go. Now, since this is the flexor side, they're short like this and stretched like this. So I can get a tight spot and lean into it and start short and stretch.
So you're doing a pin and stretch right now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so pinning and stretching, I'm getting a tight flexor. Flexing is short position for the flexors. And stretch, extend.
What part of the stone are you using on that?
Right now I was using this.
Okay.
Whatever is a good shape to trap it. So it depends on the shape of the muscle and, you know, oh my God, it is so much better. I can literally feel down to her bone now. Yeah, that's your bone. That's cool. So now this part is much happier. And you know, you could do a little, smooth it out if you want. We're going to do a little bit of hand work. We're going to give her a fresh one while I go get another one. Can you stop and start both?
Pause or stop?
Actually, that one's fine. Could you just stop that one?